dude who carried the American flag in the Chad.
Throw down! Do you wanna throw down? Right now. Throw
I play games where you get fucked to death.
This smells like my vagina.
I hate your fucking guts. I'll kick your ass, motherfucker.
All right, we had a good conversation rolling before Throwdown started, or before I started, so we'll just get right back into that. Me and Drew have covered it all with our private parts. Shit, I forget what you were saying before we, it was about the news stories, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, like the Wisconsin man walking the dog in his KKK robe.
Oh, yeah. What do you think's going on right now? Like, let's just start right off with this. Because as somebody who, like, I've been wrapped up in some of this stuff, but as somebody looking at this from the out, I feel like I'm looking at this through the outside world, the outside of the glass. I just see people like really angry about. I see a very hard push for the. You know what's going on here, like with racial stuff, and like it was about police brutality, and then it was racial stuff, and then it was COVID, and it just feels like there's a lack of leadership in the country. There's a gigantic amount of narratives being dangerously built to stir people up. We talked about this a while ago, but it's really everything is hitting right now. Like the most insane stuff you've ever seen. We're talking about right-wing crazy people are out. We're talking about racist KKK people are out. We're talking about crazy leftists are out. We're talking about crazy Antifa is out. the Boogaloo thing or whatever the fuck they are. They're somewhere. You know, the COVID-19 stuff. First they tell us it's, you know, not a big deal. Then it's a big deal. Oh my God, Trump didn't do enough, and now we got to do more. And then we get people saying, oh my God, you shouldn't be outside right now because COVID, don't you know science? And, you know, then the right-wing people just say, F it, I love my business, like we need to open the country up and I'm going to go out anyway. And then the leftist people get mad, but then the leftist people riot, so then they go out anyway. And then the right-wing people say, but didn't you say COVID-19, why are you going out? And now then the leftist people are like, shut up, we're wearing masks, this is bigger than that. How could it be bigger than that, though? But now Trump's going to have a rally, and oh my God, he's a fool because they're all going to rally. Like, I'm right now convinced that this world is full of retards.
Well, our entire Congress has dropped the ball. I mean, everyone has stuck their head in the sand, it feels like to me. I know Trump's been out and saying stuff, and this person's, Pelosi's been saying this. But let's be honest. With everything that's been going on the last, let's go back 6 months even, it feels like either they're just running their mouth and nothing's actually being accomplished, or they completely stuck their head in the sand and they're not doing jack shit. I feel like I'm seeing more of the fucking mayor of New York than I am President Trump in a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's not even my city.
Yeah, that's all I ever see is the mayor of New York. I mean, I guess he was, you know, the leader of the most impacted crazy spot of COVID or whatever.
Right.
But
even during the riots and stuff and all this that's been going on the last 3 or 4 weeks, what has Trump really done? And I'm not even singling out Trump. There's an entire house full of people in Washington that are just as responsible.
I'm really concerned with everybody. I got to tell you, like this, I'm literally concerned with everybody. By the way, I did just listen to about half of Joe Rogan's podcast with Jocko, and he is so good, man. He talked about The Rock should run for president, and I think that guy should run for president. I thought that guy was great. And I've been saying that too, and I've been thinking the same thing like for weeks, is like, and we've been saying it too. Every week we say something like this. It literally feels like nobody knows really what they're doing. Like there is no plan. If there was a plan, Trump threw it out. If he has a plan, it's confusing. The left doesn't know what they're talking about either. None of Congress they're all a mess. Trump seemingly doesn't believe in science. The left says you need to believe in science, but then they defy science that they say they believe in. I mean, what is going on? Like, there's a guy who gets horribly murdered by a cop who's basically a murderer, and that's horrible. But then
he's out on bond.
Oh my God! And then
how the hell do you set a bond for that guy, or at least an attainable one?
You got black people being hung. What is that about? I mean, listen. So you got black people now being hung, like 5 people have been hung or something like that. So now you got the leftists, and the black people and the leftists believe it's obviously like the KKK is rising up or something. Some people on the
might be. No one's doing anything about anything.
It could be. Some people on the right, though, believe that, it's just suicide. It's what the cop said. It was a suicide. Then you got people on the right and left who think it also could be the deep state. There's some rogue government something. They're doing this on purpose to help spike the racial war. Like, they realize the looting is settled down. See, every time one thing gets settled down, they're like, we need to do another thing. We need to have a white cop stare into a camera while stepping on a guy's throat for 9 minutes. All right, we need to have COVID-19. Okay, that didn't work either. Okay, well, let's start, finding bodies of people being hung in trees around the country. That's never happened before. I mean, yeah, isolated incidents have happened where like horrible murders or someone killed themselves in places and stuff like that. But this is weird, and it's too
many at once.
Too many at once, and it's too on purpose. Like, there's no way that this is coincidental.
Like they're all
Whoever's
black,
doing it.
for instance. Aren't they? All the ones I've heard of are, at least.
Yes. Cronin saw you on Carneyland chat. What's up? Carneyland chat? What is that? Are you sure it was me?
Huh.
Wait a minute. I was in something. Guardian of Chaos, I was in something earlier, and I saw you in there, or a comment you left, and I went, whoa, that's funny, Guardian of Chaos. But I don't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah, Tommy's grandfather would probably know something about that.
And they're going out for some hangings.
He claims
One thing
he
I
doesn't
do
know what
want to
that
say is it doesn't matter what the police say. It doesn't matter. God himself could come down from the heavens and tell you it was a suicide, and no one's going to believe it. The only way anyone's going to believe that it was a suicide.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I agree.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Joe Cronin has a big motherfucking cock bigger than Varun G. Joe, if only you were the president of America, you would make America great again. I had plans to travel to the US, but I'm too scared to. Love you, Drew, you fake.
I don't blame you now, Randy. Randy Viper, now's a time in America where, you kind of want to know where you are in the country. You don't want to go around to places you're not familiar with. You know what I mean? Randy Viper, come to Massachusetts. You'll be okay, though. Just stay away from Lawrence, Brockton, Dorchester, Roxbury, and Springfield. Maybe a couple other ones. But that's pretty much come anywhere to Massachusetts.
I survived Brockton. I should have bought the shirt that said I survived Brockton.
Yeah, it's not as it's a mess, but I would rather be in Brockton than Lawrence, though. But yeah,
I've been to a lot worse places than Brockton. At least the part I was in. But we don't need to get into that for the 7th time on air. But
let me. I want to ask people this: what do you think? Because we don't know, but we know that these 5 people were hung by something. Oh. Now, were they hung by KKK? Were they hung, which I find it hard to believe about the KKK because they're just such a pathetic group of people. I can't even imagine they're capable of anything anymore. But or were they hung by leftists? Were they hung by left-wing people trying to create a race war? Were they hung by right-wing people trying to create a race war? Or were they
Someone
hung
said
by...
in the chat, what if it was black people doing it to black people?
Maybe.
Just to stir the narrative. Now, I'm not saying I believe that, but that was said in the chat.
Listen, that's a possibility. I don't believe that one, really. That's at the bottom of the list for me. Black people don't normally... I don't know what the statistics are. Somebody would have to tell me. I've seen a lot of people be like, black people don't hang themselves. Well, I mean, anybody can hang themselves. But
No. They were suggesting that another black person hung those black people.
I get it. Yeah, that's still low. Okay. It's still low on my list, though. But it's true. It could happen, but I doubt... I don't know. But... is there a Illuminati type of thing going on here? What's going on here? What the hell is going on? What in the world? You're seeing white people beaten in the streets by groups of black people. They're not even showing that anywhere. They don't talk about that at all. You're seeing just news stories like Joe Rogan talked about at the beginning of his podcast today. He was like, Hispanic man gets gunned down by cops. But no, he had a gun and he was in a gunfight. So it should have been just like they do with every story. It should have been, criminal or guy gets into gunfight with the police. Instead it's Hispanic man gunned down by police, but he wasn't gunned down. He was a criminal fighting with the cops with a gun. The other day a guy pointed a taser at the cops after he stole it from them. He got shot. I don't agree with the way police operate. I don't like the idea of shoot to kill type of stuff. I don't like that. I like the idea of incapacitating someone and then getting them to justice. At all costs, apprehend. Remember back in the day, you heard people be like, bring him to me. I want him alive. That's kind of the way. And I'm not saying that the cops should just die, because if the cops don't do something, they'll die. They'll lose their lives. They got to be careful. I'm not saying that they can't defend themselves. They need to be able to defend themselves, but I wish there was it was almost like an incentive for bringing in a guy alive. No matter what, right? Writing a ticket, bringing a guy to jail, whatever it is. When you bring a guy to jail and he's not, killed, there's almost a super incentive for that. Good job bringing him in and nobody got hurt. Okay.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I feel like maybe over the years, cops have gotten a little more comfortable with pulling the trigger, just because there hasn't been a whole lot of responsibility held to those who maybe did it in a situation where they shouldn't have and wasn't held to any scrutiny for it.
Oh, the person drawing swastikas was a Jewish girl.
Oh, the person who burnt down that Wendy's in Atlanta was a white female. Young white female.
I heard that, but then I saw people lighting the fire before her, so I bailed on that.
Yeah, and I saw broken windows before she approached that building. So I'm like, okay, so it was okay to break the windows, but not okay to set the place on fire.
People are building whatever narrative they want right now. It's the most scariest time ever. I'm talking about people on the right and the left. They're building whatever narrative they want to build. I've got a friend on Facebook who every like, I don't know, like every post by her is some kind of anti-white, like white people suck post. Like everything she posts, she posts like every hour. Sweet little Asian girl. Every hour she posts though something about white people. And it's like, that's creepy. Like, it'd be like if all I posted was anti, like, you know, blacks kill each other and then blacks do this and then that's all. It was just a bunch of racists, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're really making me think that, like, you hate white people. Like, but then she's the one saying that everybody hates Asians or something. And it's like, yeah, they're called black people because they beat you up more than anybody. But you hate white people. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the hate doesn't make sense. So none of the hate anywhere makes any sense. Like all of this is out of control, crazy. I'm waiting right now because I feel like this is all planned. I can't even believe this is coincidence now. You're starting to make everybody paranoid, America and world. I'm at the point where I believe it's all coordinated because I can't even believe that this is real. Like, it's not possible that the fucking economy was awesome and that we were doing pretty damn good just a few days ago. By the way, it's Costanza. Thanks for the donation. And Randy Viper as well. There's a few days, just a few, like a little while ago, we were doing great. We were doing so good. It's a little weird that COVID happens. We shut down everything. It only kills 68% of people, or what, 0.68% of people, whatever, just slightly more than the flu. You know, we shut down everything COVID, and then the cop stuff happens, and then the protest, and now we're defunding police. There's a fucking Seattle's going crazy. What up, Guardian of Chaos? And then we've got
Seattle. Wow, that's a whole nother story in itself. Fucking
this is
colony
crazy.
inside the downtown.
What
the hell is going on there?
What's weird about that though is like that somehow is like the least of my, like, I'm worried the least about that because I know that the people in Seattle are nuts. So I know that state's crazy anyway. And
They're so close to Canada, that's why.
Probably. But I'm more worried about the perceptions that people have all over Facebook and Twitter and all these things.
Speaking of the Chaz, did you see the guy who carried the American flag in the MAGA hat into the Chaz and got fucking lit up?
That's weird. I mean, I wouldn't go in there. You're talking about a warlord who took over streets. Like, if people think that these people are playing around, like, yeah, maybe in the day, like, some of the normaler people are out. But if they think that these people are playing around, like, you're an idiot. Like, this is
I don't know. That they may not be playing around, but they do have something wrong in their minds to think that the American flag is traumatizing them.
Well, they're
that's
mentally
the most
ill.
outlandish thing I've heard in 6 months. That's more outlandish than the numbers that were thrown around about COVID-19 3 months ago.
Dude, they're mentally ill. Like, that's what most of these people are mentally ill. Like, we're not saying, like, we all don't have problems over here, and not that saying the cops don't have problems. The cops have problems. Everybody has problems right now.
No,
but that place,
if you're going to look someone dead in the eye and with pure honesty say that you are traumatized by the sight of the American flag, then you need to get the fuck out of this country right now. I will pay for your ticket. Get the fuck out of here.
You need to get out of here. And that's the thing is, like, that's what these people want. It's not about getting rid of these things, you know, because when I was younger, I found out about the Southern statues and some of the things like that. And I used to be like, why do we even have those up? That doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, so this has been going on a while, but getting rid of the Confederate flag and all that stuff, and I get that too, because like I don't care. I'm from the North too, and it's like we're all Americans, so why do we still do this? I don't even get it. Fine, but I'm not going to go beat people up over it. But also, it's not just that. After the Confederate flag, it's the American flag. They're going to come for that because they don't want America. They want chaos. The guardian of chaos is here. These people want chaos. 18 to 30 demo is outer space, including the law. Yeah, everybody's lost it.
They're more than happy to go to a third world country, and then they can get back to us in 6 months and let us know how it's working out for them.
Right.
I mean, these are first world problems. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
These are first world problems that everyone is bitching about. Aside from the pandemic, although that's blown out of proportion.
We're turning into third world here. Like we're going into the.
It's dragging us down into it. Yeah.
We're gonna go into, some weird territory if we keep it up. But yeah, I don't
down everything.
I'm not a fan of the Confederate flag and those things. I never understood it. Like didn't we beat them? Why do we have those still going on? But I never thought I'm gonna go out and club people like with a pole because they're waving the Confederate flag. Because I've understood for years that there's a lot of Southern people that don't equate it that way and they don't get it. But I know that there's a lot of Southern people that do kind of hold it that way. Like, it's weird. It's like I never got that at all. Like, South, we got the Confederate flag. I was always like, dude, what are you? You're retarded. You lost. Like, throw the flag out, dude. Become America. Let's go.
I've got a couple of friends that, have Confederate flags like in their basement, in their man cave or whatever. They're not racist. They just like the flag. They were born in Georgia or they were born in Alabama, and that's something they grew up with. Doesn't mean they're racist.
There's black guys that like the flag too, but it's like, God, it's just a stupid symbol at this point. But I get it, but at the same time,
I guess, if you wore a swastika on your arm, got a tattoo of a swastika, it wouldn't go over so well.
Yeah, it's it's the same thing. Like, it kind of is. Like, it's, it is. It's like in Germany. It's weird because in Germany, like, you would think, imagine if half of Germany still like wore the Nazi stuff, like was like, no, we don't want to get rid of the Jews anymore, but we still are proud to be Nazis, or of the that's not what would happen there. And it's different because the Nazi regime started, but there was no area dedicated to the regime. Do you know what I'm saying? It's more complicated because you have the South and you have the North, but we're supposed to be the United States of America, so just throw it all out, man. Just chuck it. Like, when I was younger, I always said, this is like religion. When I used to question religion, I would question the country the same way I question religion. I'd be like, why do we celebrate this Columbus guy, this Italian fuck? He seems like a cunt. He seems like he was an asshole. And why do we celebrate this and that? And why are there Confederates still? And like, why? Like, I'm confused why we have a statue of these people who are horrible. But then you're going to come for they want to take the Abraham Lincoln statue down in Boston. So they're coming for Abe Lincoln statue too.
Well, they're just going to tear everything down. Before long, the Rocky statue is going to come down because he let a black guy die.
They're going to take it all down, man. It's all going to come down. I mean, like, to the credit of most of those people, they're like, put it in a museum, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, put it in a museum, fine. I mean,
what state was it? Was it Texas? I don't think it was Texas. There was a state yesterday, they said, took down a Confederate statue and it was against the law. That you can't just go taking down statues. Like, the state broke the law by removing the statue. I didn't get to read the article, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up because I don't have any more info than that. But just the headline alone, I'm like, yeah, see, we're reacting before we think. Which I think the whole country's doing that, to be honest.
I can get down with maybe coming together and getting rid of the Confederate flags. I can get down with that. I mean, what's weird is in high school, Hot Topic, the store, we bought all our goth clothes from Hot Topic. But the other thing I did in Hot Topic was I bought all these old retro shirts, and I swear to God, I had 3 different. I had Star Trek and all these other things, and I had Dukes of Hazzard. And it's funny to think that in high school I was wearing the Dukes of Hazzard T-shirts because it was throwback, and everybody thought they were cool. You know, everybody was like, Dukes of Hazzard. I used to watch that. Fucking white kids, black kids, everybody. And I walked around with that shirt, and it was a big Confederate flag on it. You know, if I imagine you did that now, you'd be like pummeled or something. It's like it was just a TV show. I didn't really think about the Confederate flag. I didn't understand it. That's all I knew it from was the TV show. And then later on, I found out it was part of the South and the Confederacy stuff. And I was like, well, why do we have this still then? Doesn't this kind of mean like we want to take things back? Like, what? This is weird. You know, I used to think that, but then I was like, nobody cares. All right, whatever. And it's like now everybody cares, but I'm like 35 now and jaded, and I don't care anymore.
I'm less upset about that because I get it, but it's I guess what really bothers me is like the new things that are coming up, like this hand symbol or this hand gesture or this word that you used for your entire life all of a sudden is now offensive or racist or not the right term to use. I mean, I can't even keep up with it. What was it, like 2 months ago? I said something on the show. What was it? Let's call a spade, and people are like, "Oh, that's racist. You can't say spade." Are you fucking kidding me? It's on a deck of cards.
Wait a minute. You can't say spade? What?
Yeah, yes.
Why?
Spade is a racist term now.
It's
because I guess 300 years ago, someone stuck a spade up someone's ass. I can't remember the exact thing. I looked it up a few months ago when it happened, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's one now.
Yeah. Well,
and it was an article from like 2 years ago, so apparently that got passed around to some people. But no, a spade is a gardening tool. A spade is on a deck of cards. I'm going to continue to say it.
I think we're viewing the retardation of this country, like the what do you call it?
I mean, it'd be one thing if I looked at, say, a black person and just like called them that in some weird way, in a way to try and insult them. Then maybe.
Yeah, like some weird way. It'd be like, what is that? Even they would look at you and be like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, like, what is that? Some kind of, what that reminds me of is Airheads, when the guy's talking to the black guy with the projector, and he goes, what is that? Some kind of cracker slang? That's what that reminds me of. Yeah, like, what the hell is that? Some kind of fucking new fucking term from a black guy? Like, what are you saying to me? Nobody would know. Yeah, I don't really know. I think you're seeing people are really freaking out, like overblowing everything.
Well, another thing that's been overblown, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but I saw a lot of people in the chat saying, "Well, how is police brutality not a first, or how is that a first world problem?" Are we really having a police brutality problem, or are we being told that we are?
No.
I will say anytime a cop.
Jerome in the chat says, please get a black person on. I think I understand, Jerome. Trust me, I think I do. I'm talking about overall throughout the whole country, though, dude. I'm not talking about. If you want to talk about just black issues, I can tell you, some things about that. I'm not really talking about that. I'm sort of talking about the overreaction of everybody in the country, Jerome. I'm not really talking about the black community issues because that's you really have them. I'm not saying that's totally real. Like, you do have police brutality, police profiling, stuff that happens to you that doesn't happen to everybody, or at least not the way that other people see it. Discrimination and racism that happens that people don't even see. Black on black violence is also like some of the most is the highest in the country, and you have to deal with that violence in your own community on top of that. So it feels like everybody's against you in some ways. I get that. That's not even. I'm sort of speaking of the overall overreaction of everybody everywhere. But I am aware of the discrepancies still that happen. And depending on the communities, it's different. Like that's a lot of people don't understand too. Like, you can live in you can live in a middle class community where there's whites, blacks, whatever, and there's all these different people, and you have a good police. Maybe you have good police. Maybe you have 20 cops in your little nice town, 30% black, maybe 50% white, and mix of other people. You guys could all get along pretty well. Never see almost anything. any little bit of racism is like super weirdly isolated, or like one guy freaks out somewhere and everybody calls it out. But like there may be another area where you're somewhere down south in a more rural area and there's police abuse going on that's different. You know, there may be cities in Boston where cops do certain things because they can, other cops do other things. Then you get to the judicial system. There's still a bunch of black people in jail for marijuana for life, while white people are running around, and white and black and everybody's running around going to the weed store. You know, like, oh, like, cool, I can just smoke now. And there's kids making bongs and smoking weed on YouTube. There's like 21-year-old kids with marijuana channels on YouTube, walk down the street, buy some weed and smoke it on YouTube. Meanwhile, some black kid who was like fucking 18 or something like that is in jail and ruined his life for 10, 12 years because he bought or sold a joint to somebody or whatever the fuck it is. You know, it's dumb as hell. There's so much we could go for hours on the injustices of what's happened to the black community. But I could also go on hours of the fake news and how so many things are blown out of proportion, wrong and incorrect, and how they use a lot of this to use black people. The Democrats use black people like crazy as pets to get their point across or get their vote or do whatever they do. They use black people for their own party. It's very weird how they do it, and a lot of people see it, but a lot of people don't see it. Doesn't mean that stuff that happens isn't wrong and bad. It just means that somebody else is using it against you in a different way. They're trying to pretend like they're your friend, and they're really not. They just want an image so they can get votes. It's fucking weird and disgusting. But no, we could get it. That's a whole other thing we could get into. But I'm talking about the overall overreaction of everybody right now. It's crazy. Karen, should we play the Karen who got knocked out on the train? That was hilarious. The one that just dove.
I did want to finish just a couple thoughts there before I got left hanging on it, because I can see some people are like, what the fuck, Drew?
Well, I was just trying to explain, like, yeah, we get it, but we're going into this other thing, but I don't even know.
Right. Well, as far as what Jerome said, I mean, you're not against having a black person on the show. Call up. Call up.
Well, we have black people on the show. We have Famous B's been on, Famous B, Heist Man. There's a whole bunch of other people that watch, too. I mean, anybody can call up and give whatever. TJ called up a couple weeks ago, and, he called out Dave Rose, and they got in a fight, Definitely
that was an interesting night.
Yeah, whoever wants to be on. I mean, we get it. Like, I get a lot of people's perspectives. I really do. And I get my perspective. My perspective is that, like, I've been, I'm always living in a community that seems pretty good. And even when I talk to everybody, people are pretty happy with their community, white, black, whoever. So I live in an area where I don't see a lot of this stuff go down, and not a lot of people really, have a problem. I've a few of my, friends have said things before, but when they tell me stories about what happened to them, I'm like, well, I've had about the same stories you have, so I really don't know. So I've got this ignorance from where I lived and grew up, where I don't quite understand, but I can see, because that's why people have different opinion. If you live in an area where, Christians were robbing your stores, and you're going to develop some kind of, like, you don't understand, these Christians are robbing our stores, like. And then you go to somewhere else where Christians are normal and they're just religious people and nice, those people are going to be like, you're crazy. What do you mean Christians are robbing your store? You're a liar, or you're an idiot. And it's like, yeah, dude, I don't like Christians. They rob you. And then other Christians are like, what are you talking about? And, like, basically nobody understands everybody's perspective of what's going on. And so because they don't talk, they just start screaming at each other. Oh, well, what are you? Well, I'm a Jew and Christians are robbing my store. Well, you're a liar. You Jews are liars, and then everybody fights. And really what it is the, it's perspective is totally different. So it's like recalibrating a gun or recalibrating a, whatever. Whenever you're recalibrating something, if you pick up a bow and arrow, and you look at the circle in the middle and you shoot it and it fires slightly left, you were like, what happened? I thought it was set perfectly. but you realize you got to recalibrate it a little bit from this perspective. You have to raise the little dot slightly above to the right line to get it to center. It's sort of the same thing with everybody's perspectives all over the country, in a white community, in a black community, in a mixed community, in a different community, in a poor community, in a rich community, in a Republican community, in a Democratic community. There's so many different communities in a good community. There's something bad is happening in the community. So all these people have all these super different perspectives, and then they feel the way they feel, and then they tell everybody else how they're supposed to feel in their community when they don't even know what's going on, maybe. But they know what's going on from what they've seen, so they think that they're right. So everybody thinks that they're right. But really what you need to do is listen to each other and realize that everybody has these different perspectives from where they're from. So that's why people get so and you got a lot of a lot of the more the right-wing people. Some of the people on the right, they're worried to reach a hand out and say, you know what, I support you guys. I see you going through something and you feel a certain way. Black Lives Matter. I'm going to support you. A lot of those people are afraid to do it because they're worried about, they're hung up on that they feel like they're being ostracized as a white person. So they think they're under attack. So, like, it's really hard, man, because everybody thinks they're under attack. The black community thinks they're under attack by everybody or something right now, and white people and cops and everybody. A lot of the white people think they're under attack by white people and by minorities who think that they're racist when they don't feel that they're racist or they're not racist, and then they're worried they're under attack. They're seeing people losing jobs because of stuff their wife tweeted 10 years ago. Like, it's just a weird, everyone's freaking out everywhere. Everyone's freaking out. And I wish we had better leadership to call this out and explain what's going on and say, like, hey, let's try not to demonize people who didn't do anything wrong until somebody's actually done something wrong. And hey, black lives do matter. And right now, this is something that the black community is worried about. We're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're gonna talk about how we can reform the police everywhere. We're not going to you don't have to get rid of the police everywhere. We can talk about how we're going to reform them and change what we do, because clearly it's not working. If people are getting this angry about all these things, like, let's change it to where you can't say, what did that cop do, or why are they doing this to us or them or whoever. Like, let's change it to where, it's going to work for everybody. So let's do that. But anybody who just says, the cops are all great, fuck these people, or the cops are all bad, fuck all cops, those people on the left and the right that are just saying one way or the other, they're crazy. And you need somebody in the middle who's ready to negotiate, to talk about some real stuff to make a change. Because that's what this is. Stuff like this happens because there needs to be a change. They got away with it for years. And then the Rodney King thing happened and other things. By the way, lots of white people are killed by the cops too. Horrifically killed by the cops. Nobody talks about it. They don't care. They could kill some 12-year-old white girl on the beach tomorrow. They wouldn't even put it on the TV because it's not a black person. But the bottom line is, there's something going on here, and it's been going on for years. And it started, Rodney King, when we got that on tape, we had the riots. People were like, holy shit, like, what is going on? And you had a lot of people open their eyes. But social media has really opened the eyes of everybody. And where we kind of let it skate by before, now we're not letting it skate by anymore, because now people are getting mad. Like, now they've had enough, because they keep seeing it enough that now it's emotionally impacting everybody, and people are freaking out over it. Now, there's an overcorrection that's going to happen that's a little too crazy, right? An overcorrection is something that happens all the time with this, where it's an overswing. It's an overcorrection. Like, they're calling that second cop a killer in that Wendy's shooting the other day. But the first cop the first cop. So the first cop showed up and was like, hey, man, how you doing? You okay? What's been up? And he fell asleep in his car, drunk or whatever it is. He's like, hey, I'm just trying to get home to my daughter, birthday party, whatever. He's like, okay, man, all right, well, cool. Is everything all right? And you feeling all right? And the first cop was great. And then he called the second cop, and then the second cop came. But whatever. They ended up getting in a fight because the guy resisted arrest. Then the guy stole the guy's taser. The black guy stole the guy's taser, then ran and then turned and fired his taser at the cop. Then that cop shot him to death. Explain to me how the other cop is a murderer, because they want him charged for murder. I heard someone on CNN saying to charge the first cop with murder. How the hell is the first cop going to be charged with murder? All he did was get in a scuffle with the guy because the guy attacked them resisting arrest, and they both struggled with him. The guy grabbed one of the tasers, ran away, and the other cop shot him. What was the other cop? Why is the other cop going to be charged for murder? He was doing his job. Completely doing his job. You could argue about what the other cop was doing, but the fact is the other cop was trained to do that. You trained that cop to shoot that guy. If somebody points at you a weapon, especially your weapon, after they just beat you up and took your weapon, you're trained to shoot them.
Hey, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm sorry. If that's exactly the letter of the law for a police officer or not, at what point did this guy not go, man, I could probably get killed for this?
Right.
You know, I would have thought that by now. If I was in his shoes, by the time I tried to put my hand on that taser, I would have feared for my life.
It is weird that a lot of these situations happen in Democratic states. You ever notice that? Most of these things have taken place, I think, in Democratic states. Not all of them, but some of them.
I'd have to see the map.
Go look at the map. Somebody said that in the chat. It made me think of it, too, because I was thinking of it the other day, and I was like, that's weird. It doesn't seem to happen a lot in Massachusetts, though, I'll tell you that. Our cops are weird, but maybe it will. Maybe now that I said that'll happen, just like when I said nothing will happen in Boston, then some cars got burned. So, but yeah, it's very strange, man. What I think is, I don't understand why the cop was fired and all this stuff when you trained him that way. That's why I think the police chief there is a coward idiot. You trained him that way.
Atlanta looks red.
Oh, Atlanta's definitely red, yeah. So I mean,
Georgia rather.
Yeah, Georgia's a red state, yeah. Well, Georgia's a red state. Michigan's a what? A swing state or something?
But they do have a retard for a governor, so that might offset the balance a little bit.
Well, Atlanta's a mess with well, Georgia. I have a lot of all right, so maybe, and listen, it's not everybody. I'm not trying to paint Georgia in a bad light, because I have a lot of friends in Georgia. But I have a good group of a couple black friends from Georgia. Like, I'm talking about from Georgia. These guys grew up in Georgia. Now they live out here because now they work with my mother, but these two guys I know that are black, that are from Georgia, they're like, oh yeah, you got to be careful in some of the rural areas, like with racism. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, but, you also got to be careful sometimes if you're a white guy in a certain black neighborhood. He's like, so, but usually it's not a big deal out here. It's not that big a deal, He's like, but there's some white rural neighborhoods. He's like, I wouldn't want to be around that, And I was like, really? So that's the perspective of a guy came here probably 10 years ago who's now 50 from Georgia, But he's like, it's not bad. Because I was like, hey, what if I moved to Atlanta? He's like, you'd be all right in Atlanta, But it's not the safest place either. But
I'm sorry. Let me jump in here. Mr. Black Wolf said the difference is the cops say the taser is non-lethal, and then they turn around and shoot him when he tries to use the taser against them by shooting him with lethal force. Here's the difference. Is when a police officer uses the taser, they're trying to typically subdue someone. Now, I'm not denying that there aren't bad cops in this world, and there's always going to be bad cops. It doesn't matter how you legislate or rule the officers. There are just simply bad people out there. But when a criminal or someone who's already fought the police and stole their weapon is aiming it at them, what are they going to do to him after they've tased him? If they've already shown that they're willing to harm the officer and have no concern for the person in front of them, especially when the officer hasn't done anything but try and question the guy, or I can't remember, what was he being questioned at the time, or were they taking him in? Regardless,
they said it was when they said you're under arrest, and they
right.
By the way, the cops. Now listen, I agree with you. See, I know the cops were doing what they were trained to do, so that's why I'm not even trying to go at the cops. Where is it here? Body cam footage. I had this conversation with an old co-host of mine back in the day, Tommy. This guy Tommy C. We had this conversation, and he told me what I thought was ridiculous. I mean, what he said, what I thought about policing and how to handle suspects and how to do things. He thought I was ridiculous. Let me try to find the whole. Where's that video where somebody cut it? They literally cut all the police footage. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down for you right now. Let's break it down. Now, remember, I was in customer service and I was in sales. And I believe that that's a strong thing that cops need to do.
You able to pull a video up on my end?
Here it is. Oh, yeah, let me pull it up here. And I really think talking to people, like if I was going to become a cop, which I did, I wanted to become a cop years and years ago. When I was younger, I was like, maybe I'll be a cop, and if none of this radio stuff and this other stuff works out, maybe I'll be a cop, man, because I always wanted to help people and stuff like that. So maybe I'll be a cop, you know? And so as I watch this video, they find this guy passed out in his car. He gets out of the car. He's being questioned by this cop. By the way, this cop on the right is now being called a murderer, right? But I don't think he never shot his gun. But unless I'm wrong, he's being called a murderer.
Hey, if she can't get her order together, and you know I'm not feeling uptight right now, I should park right here. Go to sleep.
Wait, that's the cop. That's the cop that does shoot him. I'm sorry. I need the whole. Where the hell is it, man? There's a friggin' video. The other day, I thought maybe I retweeted it. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Surveillance video.
I found it. I think this is it. Okay, I think this is it.
As far as you can.
Shelf. I'm hungry. Let's go.
Hands on your back.
Where's the full video, man? Come on. It was like, because it's important to see the first officer, you know, because he's all like, hey, what's up? Like,
and this is the body cam video. Police were called there. Took a field warning.
Stop fighting. Stop fighting.
All right, so all they show in the news, of course, is the fight. Nobody shows what happens before. I'm really looking for the whole friggin' thing. Let me see. It's funny, if you just type in body cam footage full video, this is all that comes up. Like, there's no one, like, you would think all these other things would come up.
Well, it's like that guy who beat up the girl that we saw today on Twitter. And the news reporter tried saying, oh, someone should have beat his ass. Well, someone did. Cover the whole story.
This is it right here. Okay, so this is, I think this is the full thing.
How about any drugs today?
Absolutely, I don't do drugs.
Okay.
At all.
Okay. Oh, is this a rental car? What's?
See, this cop's not being crazy. He's like, is this a rental car? Is this your car? What's up? Like, and he's being normal. This cop's being so far good.
What's the deal with that?
I sent her.
You what? Rental, gotcha. Where'd you rent it from?
It's a rental car, okay.
One place down off of Tarr.
Okay, I gotcha.
I don't know if this cop's like a rookie or like there's a procedure and that's why he's like kind of looking to get a second
time
cop.
maybe for the backup?
I think so, yeah.
That's annoying.
10-23.
I'm not sure.
All right, just stay in the car, man, right?
What's sad about this to me is like, now at this point, I'm assuming this guy's drunk, right? And I'm assuming this guy's drunk, and this is me as a cop. Maybe, and I know that there's people out there that call me unrealistic, especially the right-wing people. They're going to be like, dude, you're out of your mind. You would get killed as a cop. Like, you're an idiot. And maybe that's true. But for me, I'm looking at this guy as a victim almost. Like a criminal victim, like whatever. I'm looking at the guy more as a danger to himself, is what I'm trying to say. So at this point, this guy fell asleep. He's clearly been drinking. I can smell it. The cop says he smelled it. That's why they're getting into this. They want to get him, out of his car, all that type of stuff. I'd be worried about he's drunk, right? So he may try to run. He may get hurt trying to run. He may run into traffic. He may fall over. Maybe he's got a weapon on him. I don't know. All these different things could be going on. These are all things that you'd worry about, and so that's what I'd be thinking about if I was this cop.
What's up? What's up, man?
I just had it when I had it at the hotel.
Okay.
But
Does this guy have a cop hat on?
Kind of looks like a badge around his neck.
Stay in the car, right?
Wait a minute. Does he have a fucking police hat on?
What's up, man?
I just had it when I had it at the hotel.
Okay.
He's got one of those.
Like South Carolina with a flag through it.
He looks like he's got the thing the Undertaker was wearing, the black United States flag with the police stripe through it, that stood for supporting the cops. Am I crazy?
I'm not familiar with that symbol.
The Undertaker,
but it does look like he's got a police badge around his neck.
Well, yeah, it looks like he's got that too. But the Undertaker was wearing a shirt the other day that was a American flag, but it was gray, and then there was a blue stripe through it, and apparently that was to mean support for cops or something. And people were calling the Undertaker racist for wearing it. Can anybody clarify what this hat means? Can somebody clarify what that hat means? Thin blue line hat. Dude, has anybody noticed this before? I hadn't even seen this. That's a Blue Lives Matter hat. It supports police. It's a support police fucking hat. Has no one seen this? He's wearing a fucking support police hat.
But he certainly wasn't supporting him in the later part of this video.
I'm surprised the cop didn't say something like, "Hey, man, I appreciate the hat, dude."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. His shirt could have said, "I love cops forever," and if he pulled the shit he did, you know.
Yeah, but again, what you got to remember is he's drunk, so he's gonna. This guy does have a history of some kind of domestic whatever, you know. He's acted a little weird in the past, but I don't know that really. And if the cop does know that, whatever. I'm thinking about. I'm gonna try to protect this guy from himself. You know, if he's drunk, get him home, whatever. Hey, bro, who can we call? Come get you. Come get your car. You know. Now, if I saw this guy flying through traffic on the highway, almost killing people, right? Or if I saw him take a turn through a stop sign and almost hit somebody, or like dangerously driving in the street somewhere, yes, in my opinion, I would arrest the guy, and I would make sure we got him. Like, he just put people's, like, I just saw him, like, almost take people out. But if I see him asleep at Wendy's, I'm thinking, all right, gonna get this guy home to his family, gonna get him a ticket for DUI if he was drinking, or whatever. Whatever. Now, maybe that calls for him to be arrested, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But maybe they can, whatever. That's me as a cop. That's just me. I look him up. Does he have any other DUIs? No. If I see he has no other DUIs, I'm like, all right, dude, you're a little too buzzed. You're passing out in your car. Who can we call to get you to come get you? You know, we're going to tow your car, though. We're going to tow your car. I'm going to ticket you. Somebody's going to come and get you, though, okay? We want to get you home. I'll drop you home. I'll drop you home. Can I pat you down so that I can safely put you in my police car and drive you home or whatever? All right, cool. That's me if I'm a cop. Like, you know, if the guy takes a right turn and the car looks weird and he bumps into somebody, you know, okay, you know, you're probably going to be in more trouble. You know, if you're driving erratically, putting people in danger. Now, he's putting people in danger by being drunk anyway. I know that. I get it. But, you know, you react to every situation how you need to react to it. And the fact of the matter is, he still made the mistake. This guy still made the mistake of running. It's his fault. He was drunk, fell asleep, and then ran, stole a taser. He did it. He was drunk. He did it. If a guy gets drunk and goes and beats someone to death, even though he was drunk, he's still in trouble. If you get drunk and you drive and you kill someone, you're still in trouble. If you get drunk and you yell something crazy and you flip out on somebody, and you know you're going to deal with consequences. You still were doing it. If you get drunk like this, you run from the cops, you fight with them, and you steal their taser and you shoot it at them, and then they shoot you. I mean, I would have said 100% of the time almost. And by the way, there's a lot of examples of people stealing the cops' tasers and not being killed, white and black. I want you to Google them right now. You can find them. Tons of examples of people who either stole or tried to steal the taser of a cop and they were arrested without being shot, white and black. There's also a lot of incidents of white and black people being shot who did steal a cop's taser, besides this one. So it's all over the place. But this is crazy that he's wearing a Police Lives Matter blue. Like, And so again, if I'm a cop, I'm like, hey man, I appreciate the hat. If that's for support for us, just talking to somebody, trying to, I'm a human, you are too. What's up? I hope you're okay. What's going on? You passed out in a car. Maybe something medical going on.
But I did went to road.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously out of it. This guy seems like he's all right, but he's totally out of it.
They asked me for it, but they had it the day before.
All right.
So it was like, hey,
All right.
Mr. Brooks.
All right, you're good. You want to just hop back in the car for me, all right? All right, appreciate it.
I'm sorry, no problem.
No, you come in, just... Hey.
He's just loaded, man. He's loaded. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I love
right
how
now.
someone in the chat said he doesn't look that drunk. Well, have you changed your mind yet?
Yeah, he's...
What's your name?
He doesn't seem it sometimes, but then the other time you're like, oh yeah, he's loaded.
Sir.
Rayshard Brooks.
How do you spell it for me?
R-A-Y-S-H.
In the drive.
Yeah, he's...
So here's where the second cop shows up.
I say, babe, what's going on?
Right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk to this officer here for a minute. And then...
So now the nice cop, I'm gonna call him the nice cop. The nice cop goes to talk to the other cop.
All right, let me go talk.
All right.
You have his ID?
Yeah.
And now the new cop comes
There's
in.
a rental car. He's
now the more assertive cop comes in.
Visiting from Ohio.
Hey, Mr. Brooks. Hey, Mr. Brooks. How you doing? Hey, I'm Officer Rolf from the Atlanta Police Department. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
All right, so tell me, I wasn't here, so can you tell me what happened before we got here?
Nothing happened. I just got here and was getting something to eat.
Where are you coming from?
Well, my friend dropped me off here, and she brought me here to get something to eat. And
your friend dropped you off where?
Here.
At Wendy's.
Yes.
Okay. So
was the home lodge.
So where's your friend now?
She's at the hotel.
What hotel?
Right here at the home lodge.
Where's that? What's the address to it?
I'm not sure. I know she's here at the home lodge.
See, I'm so into I want to make sure we get this guy safe home because he's hammered and he's got a vehicle. So we want to keep him away from a vehicle. And all the cop does when they go to arrest him is say, all right, we're going to arrest now or whatever and put your hands behind your back.
All right. So how did she drop you off here?
She drove here and dropped me off.
In what car?
And a black Volvo.
Okay.
I think he's trying to get him to talk to assess him, because he's asking him a whole bunch of fucking weird questions at this point.
So who cares who dropped him off? Let's get to the point.
I think he's trying to hear how he sounds.
I mean, it was here before I came.
He's also trying to get him to say, I drove here, you know what I mean? Because he's drunk. I drove here. I'm drunk,
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Someone else drove
here.
Well,
I mean, if at least here in my state, if the keys are in the ignition, you could get a DUI.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I was,
so we obviously his keys were in the ignition because the first 10 minutes of this video, doing.
Yeah, if I go outside and if I'm drunk and I go outside and I fall asleep in my car and the keys are in the ignition, they can give me a ticket. I think they can take you to jail in Massachusetts. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Don't run from the cops. That's another thing. Definitely don't run from the cops.
But running alone shouldn't get you shot.
You're
Had
right.
he just ran, then he'd probably still be alive. It's the action of turning around and pointing the weapon.
Yeah, that is the problem that he pointed the taser. But if I'm a cop, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not shooting someone 3 times to kill them, especially after
the three shots was weird.
I would probably,
unless the first 2 missed.
They train you. Here's the thing, though. Again, it goes back to training. They train you to do that. But if I'm a cop, I'd be like, I'm gonna shoot him in his fucking leg. I've been looking at this guy. Are you fucking serious? Did you just shoot a taser at me? And I would be like, boom, and I'd shoot his leg, and he'd go, and he'd fall over and grab at his leg. Then I call EMS.
Don't they train you to aim for a spot where you'll get them?
Yeah, they train you to aim at the chest and shit. They don't train you to aim at the
Oh, you're
leg.
Just saying you would go rogue.
I'm saying me.
Anyways.
If I'm a cop and I'm like, I gotta shoot this, I'm not gonna shoot someone in the chest. Now,
I'm not gonna make a lethal shot against a non-lethal weapon.
But when you are a cop and you've seen cops killed by people and people acting stupid and criminals acting stupid, when the guy points a weapon at you, your taser, when you're just trying to arrest the guy, maybe you're having a bad night, maybe you've been having a bad week, and these cops probably have been with everything that's going on. Maybe you've been having a bad time. Now this guy, you're just like, all right, sir, we're going to place you under arrest, and you're trying to just put the cuffs on a guy, you know, get him to jail or whatever. And the next thing you know, he fucking shuttles away, and then you guys start fighting each other. He's fighting you, and now you're mad. How dare he try to fight me? Like, what the fuck? And now he's trying to take my weapon. Oh my God, he might kill me. And now the cop's thinking he's going to kill me. He's trying to kill us. He's trying to take my weapon. And then he doesn't get your gun, but he gets your taser. Then he starts running. So now you chase him. And you're like, I thank God he didn't take my gun. He got my taser. And then the guy turns and points a taser at you and fires it at you. You know, that cop's losing his mind at that point. Like, oh my fucking God, boom. Like, all right, it's on. You know, so it's easy to say from our perspectives what we would do. But
well, that's a point I was going to make a minute ago was, you know, your bad day, you say some crazy shit on YouTube. Their bad day, someone's dead.
Yeah, maybe
and
the partner
I would
died.
challenge, I would be willing to bet at most there's 1 or 2 people listening to this show right now that are police officers. At most.
Oh, yeah, I've got a couple cops.
So everyone that's in here saying what they're saying, you can't even speak from experience. And I can't either. I'm just trying to give the benefit of the doubt like I usually do because they do a job I would never dream of doing. Because I know I'd fucking end up dead. I don't have the ability to pull the trigger in a lot of these scenarios.
Let's keep watching. I wouldn't have been able, after speaking with this guy, the way he's speaking and the way he's talking, he's mentioned his kid, family, what he's doing, all these things. Now, that doesn't make him a great person. He could be a bad guy still. I don't know. But after mentioning his kid and all these other things, that would still be flashing through my mind. Okay, like, and now, did they ever find out that this guy had like some kind of record or something? Is that why he was trying to get away? Did they ever find anything? Or?
I haven't heard.
I don't think he did. I think
yeah.
he was just drunk, and he was just drunk. He was crazy. Like he is going full like pretend he's like a white kid in college, like just some white kid in college drunk. He goes, I'm gonna grab the cop's gun and run away. Fuck you, and he shoots the gun at, like, just being an idiot. I don't know how dangerous this guy really is, but he's drunk. I know he's drunk. He's not in his right mind.
I wasn't driving. Like I said, I just drank. My girlfriend, she probably was.
Okay, so he's lying to the cop here. He's like, I wasn't driving, and the cop's face tells it all right there. Watch the cop's face. He's like, you just lied to me. Now he's pissed. Like, the cop's pissed because this guy's like, I wasn't driving, and he's like, all right, look at the cop's face.
I know she's here. Don't lie.
All right. So how did she drop you off here?
She drove here.
The cop not making eye contact with him a whole bunch. He's looking left and right and kind of looking around. That means he's uninterested in this story because he already kind of made up his mind. He already doesn't really believe anything the guy's saying. And he's very uninterested in what this guy has to say because the guy's kind of just lying to him. He's like, all right, whatever.
In what car?
And a black Volvo.
Okay.
Actually.
So how did this car get here?
I mean, it was here before I came. Like, this is my car. It's a rental car, my sister. But, I mean, like I told her, I came here, I met her here.
Okay.
From the beginning, and she picked me up. And, I mean, we went out.
So you met her here at the Wendy's?
Yes.
And then you went out with her?
Yes.
And then she came and dropped you off?
Here.
Okay.
And, you know, I mean, like I told her, I mean, hey babe, you know, I just want a burger or I want fries. She said, hey, no problem. I'll take you there.
All right.
You get your fries and you come back to the hotel.
Okay.
No
so
problem.
The reason why we're here is because somebody called 911 because you were asleep behind the wheel while you were in the drive-thru, right? You recall that?
I don't.
You don't recall that? You don't recall just minutes ago where you were passed out behind the wheel in the drive-thru? You don't recall that at all?
Absolutely, I don't.
Just complete blur.
I wasn't driving. Like I said, I just drank my...
I mean, everything he's saying is a lie. He is drunk. I get that. Let's fast forward a little bit because we get it. He's drunk. He's lying. He doesn't know what he's saying either. He's a mess. Mm-hmm. Cop don't believe him, obviously. Nobody would. We all would be fucking weird drunk.
I have just money, gas, and that was it.
Is it okay if I pat you down to make sure you don't have any weapons?
Absolutely.
Just turn around, face away from me real quick.
So this is good because the cop says, you know, hey, is it okay if I just pat you down and just make sure you're good for my safety or whatever? Okay, yeah.
I don't have any weapons. I'm just going to take yours.
I'm going to take yours, yeah. No, he's got good compliance here. You know, the guy's cooperating with him. The guy does seem like a friendly guy. You never really know who people are, though, so you got to be careful. But, you know, seems like he's pretty friendly. Cop's being pretty good. know, gonna check them for weapons, keep everybody safe. That's good. The guy perfectly adheres to this.
What is this? Is it just a bunch of money in your pocket?
That's my wallet.
What's all this?
It's just money.
How much money do you have in your pocket?
I mean, maybe a couple $100.
Okay.
Pats him down, no weapons. That's good. The guy was really good and compliant, especially for a drunk guy. He was pretty compliant for a drunk guy. Like, that's not bad. That's, you know, no fidgety stuff. The guy seems pretty cool. I think the cop is pretty relaxed, too, because he's like, all right, it's whatever.
A bunch of ones and stuff here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got a lot of money on you. Hey, you know what, officer? That ain't none of your business how much money I have on me. Go fuck yourself, you know? How much money do you have on you, you fucking dickhead? But, anyway. Don't understand that. That's an agitating question.
He's trying to figure out if it's drug money or not. If it's a wad of hundreds.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what else are you doing?
Yeah. And I get that, too, but it's like, come on, man. What are you doing?
This is one.
Now we're going to do a little sobriety check.
I'm trying to tell from here.
Yeah, it's a little. He's if 100% you pass and like 80% you pass right now, this guy's like doing like maybe a 80-75% right now. Yeah, that little blink right there.
It's not so much the blink.
It's not bad though. He's following the hand pretty good.
It's the jittering of the eyes, and I think we're just too far away, or at least on my screen.
Dude, imagine if instead of the way this went down, that this dude just punched the cop right here and ran. See ya! Like he just punched the cop right here and ran through those bushes back there. Oh my god, I just thought of that and I was fucking losing my mind. Just was like
well, we're used to
I
watching
fucking
these videos
boom!
and seeing something like that. We're not used to there being this much peace in a video.
Yeah, there's so much peace going on. Like, the first cop was great. This guy was good. He's complying with everything. Everything's going good. It's going so well. Put your foot here, now take the walk.
Yes. All right. If you understand all the instructions, you have no questions.
Anyway, they go through this whole thing, and basically, the guy basically passes it, right? Because they have to go to a breathalyzer next. So the guy basically passes it.
Lodge right here, ain't it?
Where do you think you are right now?
I'm on Old Dixie Highway.
You're not on Old Dixie Highway.
Well, I'm not on Old Dixie
What
Highway.
city do you think you're in?
She brought me here.
Jesus.
She brought me here.
One of the biggest cities in America. Come on, you can do it.
Oh.
I was on Jonesboro.
So what city are you in?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
On what road?
McDonough Boulevard.
No.
I mean, what does it matter if he knows? He's got a rental car. Maybe he doesn't know the fucking roads.
You know, at this point, what the fuck is the cop doing? Like, we get it. The guy's fucking drunk. What is he doing? Like, do you know where you are? Do you know where? What is he trying to, like hit the, are you trying to confirm he's drunk for the 100th time? I mean, I think he is a little befuddled because the guy passed.
Maybe he just doesn't want to be on riot duty for the 30th night in a row, and he's trying to drag this one out.
Again, if I'm a police officer, this starts with the first cop and ends with the first cop. Hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I feel like you're a little impaired and everything. Like, have you been drinking a little bit? Looks like you have been. Maybe. Smell something. You passed out in the car. Either there's something medical or you're sleepy or something's going on. What is it? All right. Well, we can give you a breathalyzer and fucking either you're okay or fucking I'll drive you home, but we're taking your car and giving you a ticket. What do you want to do? You know, but that's after, like, talking to the guy like a human. But this is just weird, this grilling forever. I mean, I'm not saying that these cops did anything wrong. They were trained probably to do all this stuff. I'm just saying this is how weird like things can be. Like, it's just like, what? Like, the cops have done this stuff to me in a way. Like, I was with a cop for 2 hours once for something. I didn't even do anything. I mean, I've had multiple stories where I've been pulled over for things. Like, and cops have talked to me for something, and you know, there was one time where somebody threw fireworks at the beach at the cops, and the cops thought it was us, and they were like coming at us, screaming at us, and I was like, we didn't fucking do anything. And I was flipping out.
Maybe it's part of training, because I'll kind of echo what you're saying. Anytime I've had an interaction with an officer, they are very inquisitive.
Yeah, they want to know all these details, and oh yeah, like, and usually what I do is the best thing I've found always is just to answer with the most honest thing ever. Like, it's the best thing you could ever do. Like, why are you speeding? Why, or do you know how fast you're going? Because I pulled you over there, and why? So you're in New York right now, but you're from Massachusetts. So what's going on with that? Now you could say, it's America, dickhead. Like, but now you're gonna have problems, you know. So instead, you know, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm visiting my girlfriend. She's at college, and it's an 8-hour drive, and you know, you probably clocked me at like 90 to 100 miles an hour. I was just driving straight for so long that I was in the groove, and I wanted to get home quicker, and I shouldn't have been going that fast, and I just did it anyway. I don't know, and here we are. You know, that cop was like, hang on a minute, came back, here's a warning. Slow it down a little bit. See, man, that's it. My buddy, same thing, white kid, same thing. Fucking cop pulls him over the other way. Like, going the other way. Another time when we went up to visit her. Same fucking thing. New York cop, New York State cop. By the way, the New York State cops up there, their fucking lights are red. We thought the fucking fire department was pulling us over. They pull us over. Fucking my buddy Dan goes, is there a problem with something? That's the first thing he says to the cop. The cop goes, yeah, there is. What do you think it is? I don't know. Do I have like a taillight or something going on? And I immediately, in the passenger seat, I literally let out a sigh. I went, oh my God. Like, what the fuck are you doing? The cop goes, well, how fast do you think you're going? He goes, I thought I was going as fast as all the other cars. So now that's 3 times that he's defensive to the cop. And I'm like, oh, he's fucking fucked. Not only was he fucked, not only did the cop write him a $250 ticket, but on the notes on the ticket, and people have heard this story before, on the notes on the ticket, he wrote, it says reason for violation or reason for whatever. The cop wrote loser.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
It was the funniest thing. I was like, he got so pissed, my buddy Dan. He got furious, dude. He was pissed. He was like, he can't write that. Why would he write that?
What else we got? Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Want some shot you in the
Look
back.
at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Welcome to the 1980s. This how it was in that decade. Always a threat of nuclear war and a new disease called AIDS, plus all the nut job religion guys popping up.
You don't have to worry about the AIDS. We've had the vaccine for years.
That's a great point, AJ Adams. Yeah, well, we always say, can we just go back to the 80s? And yeah, well, here we go. We're going to get it. Thank you, AJ Adams, for the $3, man. Thank you for the donation, man. Keep us alive on Throwdown. And I thought there wasn't donations coming in. I was like, we're not getting any love, but I had them paused. I'm sorry. James, thanks for the host again. Appreciate it. There's a few donations I do want to let go in. But yeah, so my buddy, it's like how you talk to people is super important, like I think. But
What else we got? Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it. That's
Want
it.
some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Hey Joe and Drew Daddy. Sorry I've been absent from the shows and donating lately. I've been too because pile driving my throbbing penis in and out of both Debar and Bullfrog's mom and that loose goose of hers. Both women smell like cigarettes. Die Tommy.
oh my God, dude. I did not expect Die Tommy at the end of that.
Well, that sounds like your problem if those are the 2 women you're fucking.
Yeah, that's I love toes.
What else
Thank
we
you.
got?
That's weird.
Oh,
better than my
a little
mother.
bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Dan, when I come over your house when I go to Boston, I'll wait until you're asleep and I will sneak in and bust load on Leah's forehead.
Oh my God. Thank you, Tommy NC. Good to hear from you, Tommy. All right, let's go back to the breakdown. We'll come back to the rest of the donations in a minute. Let's go back to the end here where everything goes wrong.
Drive through, then I didn't drive here.
My question is, your vehicle got into the drive-thru because you drove
I
it
backed
there, right?
out and drove, you know, said, baby, I need burgers. She said, okay, fine, I'm going home.
My
said,
question,
no problem.
Just so I understand what happened clearly, your vehicle was in a parking spot, your girlfriend dropped you off, you got into your vehicle, you backed it out, and you pulled it into the drive-thru, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Ross.
Well, now he did
what
drive.
What led to you falling asleep behind the wheel?
I was on the phone calling her.
Those motherfuckers taking too long to make a burger. You would have fallen asleep too.
Yeah, I was hungry.
I've
fallen asleep almost in those things.
She asked, I said, babe, last time I answered, I said, baby, I'm getting burgers and, you know, what's going on? Moments I got on the phone with her.
Yeah.
I'm like, babe, hey, damn, you know, you want number one or number two?
On his woman?
Or
but
she's like,
would you agree?
You
how many babies
take
does
care
he
of
have?
You're a man. You figure out what we're going to eat tonight.
All right, let's move past that.
He's obviously just so hammered. I mean, the guy needs to go to sleep. He needs to go to bed.
The woman, he was at a hotel hanging out with a woman. She dropped him off, went back to the hotel. Then he called his girl to get burgers.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be the same person that just dropped you off. So how many babies you got going on here?
Yeah, it sounds like he was banging.
Did you pick up on that?
So yeah, well, it sounds like he was banging some side thing in a hotel, and then left there, and then decided, and then called somebody else. Like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna get food. But who knows what he's talking about here? We could be saying anything. We can't even really just figure it out. I mean,
what the hell did I do was racist?
Okay.
I do say that.
Okay.
But I'm only going a few minutes down the road.
I got you. I'm just asking, will you take a preliminary breath test?
is he calling him Mr. Officer or Mr. Ross? Is that the cop's name, Ross?
I thought I picked up on Ross earlier.
If you're positive or negative for the presence of alcohol in your breath.
I've been drinking.
Okay.
All right, he admits to been drinking. We all knew this, but he did admit to drinking. That's cool. That's going to win him points. It should, but
I do say that.
Okay.
But I'm only going a few minutes down the road.
I got you. I'm just asking, will you take a preliminary breath test for me?
I mean, I don't know what it is.
I just said it's a little handheld machine.
We're going to tell you.
You know if it's positive or negative for the presence of alcohol. That's part of my investigation.
You know it is the presence.
I know.
You know I've been drinking. You know it's the presence. He knows it. You know I'm drunk.
They want that
I know
.08 to hit on there is what they want.
You know I'm drunk. I know I'm drunk. We don't need no meter.
I know. I can tell. That's just part of my investigation.
But like I said, if I have to park this car right here, right now, and
hold on,
walk,
it's just a yes or no. We don't need to go back and forth about it. It's just a yes or no.
But what if I take this test and I don't care about? I can walk home. I don't have to park.
Why would you walk home?
What is that? Are those the people that can't get Wendy's because they're doing this?
I thought it sounded like a train.
Oh.
I just don't want to be in violation of anybody. I can walk. My sister's house is right here.
Do you think that you'd be in violation of something if you were to drive your vehicle?
if you know, if that's less possible
yes.
for me to park here, lock the car up, and do everything that I need to do within the presence of you guys, I can just go.
That horn is pissing the cop off, whatever that is. I think it is.
See, I think this guy thinks he's getting off. Like, hey, look, dude, I'll just get the stuff I need out of my car and I'll walk there. I think he's thinking that he's worked this cop over enough that they're going to let him just walk home.
Yeah, and I think the cop is thinking, I need to get that number reading so I can, you know, have a reason when I arrest this guy.
Go home. I have my daughters there right now. My daughter's birthday was yesterday.
All right. Hold on, Mr. Brooks. Will you take a preliminary breath test for me? It's yes or no.
I don't want to refuse anything.
It's yes or no. It's completely up to you.
Yes, I will.
Okay, just wait here while I grab.
So, you know, the cop should be a little like if I was the cop, I'd just be like, hey, you know, we'll take the thing, we'll get the real numbers, we'll know how you are, man. I get it. I don't want to bug you beyond that. You know, we'll just get it for you. We'll let you test it. You know, if you're cool with that, you know, just go get the thing. It's all good. With the breathalyzer.
1.5. Like I said, I was into the second cup. I wasn't even. I told her, babe, let's go because I'm hungry.
What kind of drinks did you have?
I'm not sure. It's something she ordered. She said top shelf or whatever.
Top shelf what?
I'm not sure. It was no sir.
All right.
I really don't, Mr. All
right. I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. Put your hands behind your back for me. Here, put your hands behind your back.
This is. Let me explain the mistake by the cop here. And I know that you're gonna say, there's no mistake here. I believe there is.
He should have said it to him without, you know, rushing behind his back.
Yeah, it was a very. Yep. Number one, should have had the other cop do it while he faced him in the front. So number one, the other cop here should have stepped up behind him to make the arrest, while this cop maintained eye contact, basically telling him everything was going to be all right. Like, we're going to take care of you. The other thing you can do is you could say, hey, you know, just for protection right now, I'm just going to put your hands put your hands in cuffs for a couple seconds, okay? Just for my protection. You know, is that okay? I put you in cuffs just for my protection. You know, he agreed to it last time. He'd probably agree to it this time. Probably would have done it before. You know? Also, like you said, it's sort of like this guy thinks he's hopefully going to get out of this, and he's ready to blow up because he just doesn't want to go to jail. He really doesn't want this to happen. He's almost, you know how like a kid is because he's so drunk. Mr. Richard Brooks. Richard is so drunk right here that he's in that moment of like, please, like, no, Dad, I've got to go to Toys R Us, or like, no, Dad, I can't. No, seriously, like, I can't miss.
I know what you say. Just analogy.
I can't miss the sleepover, Dad. I can't miss the sleepover. Like, he is in that mentality right now because he's drunk. So when the cop says you're under arrest, all of that like hope that, all right, I'm gonna get out of this, I think, comes crashing down, and he just reacts here. He flips out because he doesn't know what to do, and all he wants to do is run home or whatever it sounds like. So that's where, you know, and a lot of people would say, well, you know, the cop doesn't have to do anything. The cop would just grab him and be like, you're under arrest, that's it. Like, fine, you can do that. That's, if you want to act like that, that's fine. And the cop wasn't bad here. He was just like, okay, you're under arrest. He wasn't even that bad. He didn't like tackle him or something. He was just like, okay, I'm going to put you under arrest.
Right. I mean, you at this point, he spent 41 minutes with this guy. He hasn't, but the combination of the two of them, they have.
Yeah, he built up
the
hope.
The least they could do is give him the respect of going, hey, bro, we got to take you in. You know how it works. You've been really helpful tonight, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I'll agree that the weird step behind him is a little awkward, but still doesn't justify what's about to happen.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't justify that the guy runs away and all that other, and then he takes the cop's weapon. But
he can be startled. He can maybe act a little agitated, but to do what he does is uncalled for.
Me, if I'm a cop, I'm looking at this guy. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? You keep mentioning your daughter and stuff like that. I've got a family too. Like, what I want to do right now is keep you safe and do the right thing. I got to do what I have to do, but I want to take care of you, and we'll make sure everything, you know, you were really cooperative with us tonight. You know, I'll vouch for you. We'll make sure you get, you know, we'll make sure we do the best we can for you when it comes to this, what's going on here, and we'll take care of you, all right? So I just want you to be safe and me to be safe and everybody to be safe. And we're going to just, you know, just take it easy for a second. You know, we're going to talk. But, you know, you can say that, but when somebody's drunk, you don't know what somebody's going to do no matter what if they're drunk. You can fucking molest their ego all day long. You don't know what they're going to do. But let's see what he does do.
I'm ready to go.
So you had about 1.5 drinks, but you don't remember what kind of drinks they were?
No, sir.
All right.
I really don't, Mr. All
right. I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. Put your hands behind your back for me. Here, put your hands behind your back. Hey, stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! Stop!
Mr. Wall, stop!
He's still drunk right there. Mr. Ross. See, you hear him? Mr. Ross. He still called him Mr. Ross.
Stop! Look at that taser! Mr. Ross! Hands off the fucking taser! Hands off the taser! Hands off the taser!
At that point, he grabs the guy's taser and runs away.
Stop fighting! Got my fucking taser. 63.
Now, this is a tough one because for me, I can't believe. I mean, the guy grabbed a taser. He's clearly hammered out of his mind. He doesn't know what he's doing. If that was like, pretend I'm not doing this to play race or whatever you want to say. But like, let's pretend that was a drunken high school white kid, right? And he's like, I'm okay, and blah, blah. And then he did that. You would sort of like, there's a big chance, or a black kid, you know, even a high school black kid, white kid, whatever. But especially a white kid, right? Because we're talking about race and cops and things like that. Like, there's a large chance that you wouldn't fire your weapon at the kid 3 times. You'd be like, all right, this dude's out of his fucking mind. You know, but if he's going to grab your taser, what else would he do? You know? It's really a tough one. But I just don't, after talking to that guy for 40 minutes.
Oh shit, I was on mute.
After talking, right, I didn't hear you at all. After talking to that guy for 40 minutes, you know, you got to know that the guy's goofy out of his mind. He's falling asleep at Wendy's. He's fucking taking your taser. He doesn't know what he's doing. You fucked up when you arrested him wrong, and you should have been able to take care of his ass. But you shouldn't have shot the guy 3 times. If I'm the cop, and I know I've been in fights with people over this. I've been in fights with my friends who are cops. Not my friends who are cops, but people that I know from YouTube who are cops. I've been in fights with them over this. Because I'm like, dude, why don't you just shoot him in the leg? Why the fuck don't you just be like, dude, what do you, like, just, and then the guy goes, oh, he grabs his leg and he falls over, and you
they'll
fucking,
say because you're more apt to miss and you're in bigger trouble.
I'd call EMS, you know, hey, we got fucking paramedic, fucking guy's injured, fucking shot in the leg, go grab the guy, tackle the fuck, put the handcuffs on him. What are you doing running, dude? What are you doing? All you had to do was put your hands behind your back. You would have gotten a ticket, a fucking thing in court. You've been done. What are you doing? You stole a cop's taser and you shot the taser at us. What are you doing? You could have been shot. You could have been killed. But instead, just pow, 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 right into the chest. Like, Jesus. Over basically, yeah, the guy's an idiot. The guy's a dumbass. The guy committed a crime. Like, multiple crimes are going on here. But 3 shots to the back or 3 shots to the chest or whatever, 1 to the head, none of that stuff. I don't know, man. I'm not that. This is why I'm not a cop. This is why I'm not a cop. I could never do that. I could never be like, after hearing that guy talking about his daughter and his family, and now maybe you have a family, so now you're thinking this guy's pointing a taser at me. If he tases me, maybe he'll kill me. You know, you don't know. But you get your partner with you, so I mean, I'd be a little less concerned because my partner's with
they
me.
train you to take your emotion out of that shit too, because you will get killed. What if this guy really was intending on harming one of these officers, but he just spent 40 minutes sitting there kind of getting a little personal with them? And I mean personal in a good way, like, oh, my kid, my family, my woman, my other woman, the other woman down the street, however many women he fucking talked about. But you know, they're seeing this, they're talk. If you just show up on a crime scene where someone's shooting a gun, you haven't had the time to get to know them a little bit. I'm the kind of person that after spending 40 minutes with this guy, he takes my taser from me. I don't know if I'd be able to pull the trigger because I'm sitting there thinking about, like you said, the conversation they had about the kid's birthday and all that.
Yeah, I'd be thinking about it.
I'd be dead. If I was a cop, I'd be dead 6 months in.
I'd be like, dude, you're dead. I'd probably be dead too. I'd be like, dude, this guy's retarded. He's fucking, what is he doing? You know, he's taking his...
It's the cops that live nowadays. If you live as a cop, you're fucked because you've probably done something that's going to get you fired.
Yeah.
I think that's the reality of things now.
Yeah, see, they tell you, like, well, Hector Gutierrez says, oh, Dylan Roof got arrested just fine. You know what? That's bullshit, though, because they've arrested several black people just fine who are murderers. So, Hector Gutierrez, I hate to disagree with you, but you're wrong. You can find hundreds of horrific crimes by other people they've been taken in too. You know what I'm saying? Like they were taken in just fine. They were taken in just fine. There's been tons of black, Hispanic, white people who have all been arrested with no incident who did terrible things. There's tons of it. That doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Once the longer cops have to figure out somebody and get them out, they arrest them without incident because they want them all. I don't know. They got to take them in that way. I don't know. But you're right. It's weird how sometimes a guy can butcher 20 people and then they arrest the guy and the guy's like unscathed. But then, you can pull a guy over in this situation. But you know what? If there was two cops and a mass murderer, a guy killed 20 people, then he ran the corner into two cops, and then he pointed his weapon at the cops, he'd be dead. I mean, it's weird. I don't quite know how all that, there's such a discrepancy in all of that, but it's weird. But yeah, you would think, man, I'd be wanting to shoot the guy in the leg. I wouldn't want to be, I know he was trying to shoot a taser at me, but, and he already shot it too. So the guy shot the taser, missed. He missed the cop with the taser. And at that point, you decided to fire 3 rounds into the guy. Now, again, but explain to me, going back to the original point, it's been an hour now, everybody listening, but let's go back to the original point. After all of this that you've seen, can anybody here explain to me why the first cop is a murderer? Right? Because they're saying the cop that shot him is a murderer.
They can make a case for that.
But on CNN earlier, I heard everybody on CNN was saying they want to charge the other cop with murder. What the hell did the other cop do? What did the other cop do? He was there. He said,
he was
hey,
in
man,
the foot pursuit, but I don't think he pulled the trigger.
He didn't shoot anybody, unless I'm wrong. The other
What
cop.
happened to that surveillance footage that we had Saturday night?
That's
Do you
still
have
up.
that handy?
Yeah, that's up somewhere. I didn't want to show it because I didn't know what YouTube would, whatever.
Oh.
Joe, you only shoot to
didn't get me in
kill,
trouble.
disabled because you only shoot when you fear for your life is in danger. The cop has a right to live as well. Gordon Bombay. No, I think I get what you're saying, Gordon. I know what you're saying, that the cop has a right to life. I agree with you. And it's crazy. And Jerome says, not saying Rashad is right, but he is running away. Man, you still shot in the back a guy running away from you. Yeah, but Jerome, the guy turned as he was running away from the cop, Jerome. The guy turned and pointed a taser at the cop and then shot the taser at the cop. So it's not just the guy was running away. It's the guy turned around and shot a taser at the cop. And then the cop shot him 3 times. But I agree that I couldn't be that cop. I couldn't be the type of cop that says, stop or I'll shoot. That's something we've heard throughout our whole lives in the 80s and the 90s and whatever. Halt or I'll shoot. But usually in a movie, it's about like somebody who just killed somebody or robbed a bank or something like that. Not falling asleep in the Wendy's, whatever. So I'm just saying.
If he can't shoot his leg from that range, he shouldn't have a gun. What are you talking about? The guy is running around. You're chasing him. And cops aren't trained sharpshooters. But the police are also trained to shoot for the torso. So get the fuck out of here with that.
I'm shocked that the cops lost their job because they literally did what they're trained to do. And the second cop, the first one that didn't shoot anybody, why is he going to be... Why would he be a murderer? He didn't shoot anybody. He just showed up to a call that he was called to.
Even the sheriff came out and said that neither officer did anything wrong. I think he said that today.
Yeah, I mean,
even though they're fired.
If you told me, like, if you said to me, Joe, I'm going to explain something to you. Joe, what would happen, Joe Cronin, Irish white Joe Cronin, what would happen if you were hammered out of your mind, you fell asleep in a Wendy's, a couple cops showed up to investigate, they started testing you, they found out you were drunk, they went to arrest you, Joe, and then you decided to fight them. You fought them both to the ground, grabbed one of their tasers, then ran. And then you, during them the pursuit towards you, you turned around and fired the taser at the cop. What do you think would happen to you, Joe Cronin, white Irish guy? And if there was a fucking checkbox, I would have said, they would shoot me. That would be my answer. I'd be like, dude, holy fuck, I'm gonna die, like, or I'm gonna get shot. I hope they don't kill me. Now, I would hope that the cops would recognize that I'm drunk and try to take care of me a little bit and understand that I'm drunk. Protect yourself, but try to take care of me a little bit. Like, if those cops had shot me in the leg and I woke up in the hospital, the next day, and I found out what happened, and they were like, yeah, you were drunk. Cops showed up. You tried to fight the cops. You shot a taser at them, and they shot your leg. This is just me. I would legitimately call the fucking police department, and I would say, why did you shoot me only once in the leg? And if the cop said, well, I mean, you were drunk and you know what the hell you're doing, but you were dangerous, shot you in the leg. Didn't want to shoot you, didn't want to kill you, but we fucking had to incapacitate you. I would have thanked the cop. I would have said, thank you so much for taking care of me. Because I was a dick and I did the wrong thing and you fucking whatever. But because that's what I would want to do if I was a cop. But that's not what they train you to do if you're a cop. That's why I'm not a cop. That's why I'm a fucking hippie ass. Like, I wouldn't fucking do, I'd be like, all right, let me fucking in your leg. But that's easy to say when we're sitting here. So it's a whole different thing.
The officers try to handle it the right way.
Cops get shot all the time by being nice. They're like, hey, how you doing, man? So, yeah, okay. Yeah, man, it was just basically... like, that's happened a million times to cops. So it's really hard to say. I'm just telling you the type of cop I would be.
Someone in the chat said he was drunk. Did he really seem all that threatening? Well, I don't know. Did Ted Bundy seem all that threatening?
Is Ted Bundy drunk?
Huh?
Is Ted Bundy drunk?
No, I'm just saying, just because they don't seem threatening doesn't mean they can't be a threat.
Well,
especially when you're a police officer trying to arrest someone. I mean, the officers, all the way to the point where he resisted, were doing the right thing, although they were dragging it out, which was kind of weird. They didn't do anything
They built
wrong.
his hopes. That's one of the problems is they actually built his hopes up. He was believing like, okay, good, I hope I can get out of this. You know, they were building his hopes up.
Well, yeah, you build our hopes up. I guess here's my taser.
When he came to the realization he was getting arrested, that was where things went south. Like, it's sort of what happened to, I don't know, man. There's like no, I mean, what do you want to do? Not arrest anybody? I don't know what to tell anybody. Put a black officer in the mix, and this isn't racist. What do you think about that? That happens. That's why remember the video of the white cop being afraid that lady was punching him in the face, and he was afraid to do anything, and then the black cop stepped in and was like, "Fine." Because he was like, all right, this guy ain't defending himself because he's terrified. Where is it? It's so funny. He fucking knocks out the fucking lady, the protester. It's like from like 2 weeks back or something like that. How is this not on the fucking YouTube? It's the funniest fucking cop slugs lady.
I don't know where I saw that.
Oh, it's so funny. We talked about it. We even played it on the show. It was like weeks ago. But it's the funniest video. Oh, is this it? This might be it.
Seen punching the camera videos twice before attack. Thousands of people have watched the police.
The white cop is terrified to do anything.
North Gay Street. Only in Baltimore, right?
Union says the officer was
This guy's gay.
simply protecting his colleague from further attack.
Well, he was. Oh, you gotta love this news station that doesn't show the whole video.
Thousands of people have watched this video online showing a
Well, yeah,
woman
but
punch
because
a
this makes the
Baltimore
cops
police
look bad.
sergeant.
Oh wait, there we go. There we go.
there it is. Yeah,
Okay.
I was
I was gonna say, Jesus Christ, they don't show it. What the fuck? This cop doesn't want to hit this
Punch a
lady
Baltimore police sergeant
or thing.
twice before another officer punches her, knocking her to the ground. Now we're seeing how the encounter started from Sergeant Greg Higley's body-worn camera.
That black cop's a hero, you know. But everybody would say, like, if the white cop had knocked her out, they would have been like, oh. But see, like, at least he didn't shoot her. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the bad thing would have been, what if they shot her? You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be fucking crazy. Like, you would never want to see that lady shot there because you don't know what. Maybe she's on some meth or something. I don't know.
Friday night around 10:30, as protests are underway, the woman drives through a red light at Baltimore and Gay Streets, then turns around. An officer points a weapon at her and orders her to get out. She gets on the ground, then starts spitting at the officers and becoming upset.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I feel threatened. I feel attacked.
Man, these people are nuts, dude.
I feel attacked.
Sergeant Higley grabs her arm and she soon punches him twice before Officer Terry Love strikes her. She's on the ground motionless for about 2 minutes. Police handcuff her. She eventually starts talking.
Get off of me. Get off of me. Get off of me. You're violating my way.
Police took the woman to get a mental and physical health evaluation.
These are tough situations for police officers. Police officers had to act quickly. The woman who was driving the car could have been a danger not only to the police officers, but to protesters nearby and also to herself.
The city state's attorney's office will not be filing charges against Officer Love, saying while his conduct does not rise to the level of illegality, he should not have struck the woman and tried other ways to de-escalate the tense situation.
I mean, the lady slugged the other cop in the face twice. But yeah, maybe grabbing her and arresting her. What do you do? If I'm a cop right now, dude, you know what? Just fuck it. You're all on your own. I hope people kill your kids and call 911. No one's there. How about that?
No one wants the police to be favored at this point, so they're just fucked. I said it earlier. If you're a police officer that lives to retirement, then you fucked up somewhere along the way. The only good cops out there are the ones that are going to end up fucking dead 2 years into their service from this point on.
That cop, I know you can't really see him, but he had the build of Ernie Hudson. I don't care what anybody says.
That's what he made me think of, yeah.
Yeah, he really did have the build of Ernie Hudson. He had the really long legs that Ernie Hudson has, and the torso's long, but the legs are longer. Actually, Gavin's kind of built like that, my son. He's got the big, long legs. Let's go to donation.
My name is Kane and I'm donating a house.
Hey, I have an idea to pitch to Hollywood for the first movie to come out in the post-pandemic world, which looks like it won't be until 2040 at this rate. It will be titled Debe the Musical. The main sing-along song will be Piss on You Debe by Joe Cronin.
Oh, man. JCS Marketing, thanks for the 666. I think the first movie that comes out should be called 2020. A Year of Hell. Let's go. I don't know, man. She was suckering the fucking cop. I mean, maybe arrest her, but...
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I seen the whole video and body cam. It was 100 justified. These cops did nothing wrong.
Well, they're being called murderers, so... I mean... They were trained to do this. That's my thing is that they were trained to do this. Or they just were trained to do this. It's like, you know how mad I'd be if I was a cop? I'm like, I literally did what you trained me to do, and now you're telling me I'm a murderer? What the fuck's going on?
There's no right answer. No right answer in this world.
Yeah. I eat our own shitty in Philly, we're gritty, yo, this whole city, we're gritty, yo, we might eat our own shitty, yeah, eat our own shitty, in the city of Philly, we eat shitty, we're gritty as can be, we can survive off our motherfucking own feces, in Philly, we're gritty, in Philly, we're gritty, this whole city, we'll eat our own shitty, in Philly. That's why our mascot looks like a...
Drew, you just really pissed me off. How are you gonna say I don't recognize that logo? You know damn well you heard of Blue Lives Matter. Come on, man, you can't be serious.
I literally said that in the chat, too. I said, I know what Blue Lives Matter is. Doesn't mean I know what the fucking logo is.
I can't believe it.
I know what fucking PETA is, but that doesn't mean I jerk off to their logo every fucking night.
I can't believe this guy was wearing a Blue Lives Matter.
Took me like...
Did you know that logo meant Blue Lives Matter?
The only reason why I said I think I've seen
you thought
that...
you did. You weren't even sure.
No, I wasn't 100%, but I thought I'd seen it because The Undertaker was called a racist for wearing a shirt like that. People were calling me...
You wouldn't have known if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like...
What do you expect me to know every fucking logo on this planet? Man, people are like really fucking pissy tonight. What the fuck is going on?
Dude, that's the whole environment of the whole country right now. You kidding me? Everyone's pissed, like ready to snap. That's why people are burning shit down over fucking retarded shit. The other day, somebody...
I mean, if we had this conversation...
Oh, shit.
My name is Kane and I'm donating
You missed the part that they didn't show that set this guy off on what the cop said to him. The cop got close to his ear and whispered nigger. The rest, as they say, it was history.
There it is.
Nebed the Jew, thanks for the 666.
Someone knows how to fucking chuckle a little bit tonight.
Imagine that. That'd be fucking crazy.
I guarantee you 3 months ago we have this conversation. We look at this video. Half the fucking chat would have been agreeing. You make the guy white, and I guarantee you most of the chat would have gone, "Yep, shouldn't have pointed the gun at or the taser at him." I'm not the one that's making it about color. The chat.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Last night was absolute gold. With all of the Tommy clips.
Oh, yeah.
Best one of all was when he said, "You make these jokes about me, Joe, and all you do is pull me in and fuck me. That fat retarded faggot is actually useful."
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I don't know if people timestamped all the parts yet, but hopefully people go through and timestamp it. Because I'm telling you, man, Tommy laid out like 50 fucking clips last night on the Raw review.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I had Crystal hanging upside while I was filling her pussy with my nigger kid juice, and I proceeded to butt fuck Tommy's mommy till she had a fat bitch heart attack. Damn honky pussy is so loose.
I play games where you get fucked to death.
Oh my god, AJ Adams. What's up? Yeah. We don't have black co-hosts right now, but we have a lot of black listeners, so let's listen to what you guys say. But yeah, man, we called Rybotch called the sex line the other night.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Joe, I respect you, but if Ryback ever comes on this show again, I'm not gonna find you like those stride gum commercials and then cut a passionate promo. Love you, Joe. Fuck you, Rybitch, you fake Roydberg. Glad you got fired. Word life.
Thank you, Black John Cena. What up? Isn't Black John Cena Darren Young? He kind of looked just like him, didn't he? Or somebody like that? Somebody looked just like him. I forget who it was.
I mean, if John Cena had like an afro or whatever.
Let's just have, Yeah, man, I wish I had these sound clips queued up, but when I find them all tomorrow, or whenever I find them, it's going to be glorious. If anybody wants to timestamp them, go for it, but because that will help. But I had Tommy on for about an hour and 10 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. He called up randomly, and I was like, all right, put him on. And he just kept saying some of the the craziest sound clip stuff.
Last night?
Yeah, on the Raw review. Like,
man, I guess I missed a great fucking night.
Oh yeah, like you got.
Someone told me I picked the wrong night to go to bed early. I did go back and listen to the sex line call because I could have missed that.
It was
when
pretty.
when I heard that she was a wrestling fan, I was like, oh shit, I got to hear that.
She goes, I'll be Stephanie McMahon.
You be Macho, I'll be Stephanie. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Oh my god, dude, that was fucking killing me. I was like, I can't believe that you know all these people. I need to restart my computer. Okay. My computer's literally telling me I need to restart my computer, so I should end the show right now.
Jesus.
All right, well, let's do that. Guys, girls, ladies, everybody, thank you for watching. Tomorrow morning is my dentist appointment, so depending on how that goes, I'll either be home with nothing done, being like grumpy about that, or I'll be home probably with some kind of missing hole in my mouth. So I'm going to be going to sleep for a little bit in a few, getting up early and driving out there. And, yeah. And then all that stuff. AEW's tomorrow night on my other channel. Me and Jake's podcast is up on Patreon. And a big announcement, if you didn't know about it, you can now search on Patreon. Finally.
There he is. What do you want to do?
Just curious to everyone watching this right now. Is anyone else a little fruity and plays Animal Crossing New Horizons like I do? Could we ever get Leah to talk about it on Till Death podcast? It has been a popular game for us fruitcakes in quarantine.
Yeah, Leah talked a little bit about it back when it first came out, I think. But yeah, I could get her to talk about it, Blathers. But the only thing is, right now she's into Assassin's Creed, like one of the older games. She's like super into it right now. Like she's all about it. So I think she finally stopped playing Animal Crossing, and now she's on to that. But she could probably talk a lot about it still, though, because she played it a shitload. But yeah, now you can, thank you, Blathers, for the donation. Now you guys can search posts. I don't know when they added this, but you can now search posts on Patreon. So on your cell phone or whatever. Yeah, so you can be like, all right, yo, what's up? I want to find Corrupted episode 33. And you search. Boom. Comes up.
I literally did that probably 4 days ago, except the search wasn't there. So I was like scrolling.
Yep, this was a huge thing. I want to listen to Morning Madness episode 44. Boom. Morning Madness episode 44. Look, Himmelgod. It's back when he
needs
was
help.
here.
Hey, they were saying it even back then.
And then just whatever. You can search whatever. It's crazy. You can be like, oh, I like that episode where Joe flipped out, 49 or whatever. Oh, I want to find Blumpkin cunt. Blumpkin. Type in Blumpkin. Guess what? Blumpkin comes right up. Both versions.
Joe spelled it right.
Both versions. Download it to your computer, save it, play it, whatever you want to do. Patreon has been updated huge. So big news from Patreon. Finally, you guys can search anything you want and pull it right up without having to fucking scroll and holy shit, did that suck. So I hope you guys enjoy that. There's over 1,200 podcasts and songs and files and things that are up there for you guys to look up and search. There's just so much shit, it's insane. Yeah, I'll ask Lee about Animal Crossing, though. She loves it, so I know she loves it. All right, guys. Good night. Drew, thanks, man. I had fun.
Oh, yeah, man. Cheers.
I want to watch Cheers now. I like that show.
Sometimes you want to go.
I want to fuck Ted Danson. All right, good night. See you, man.
Fuck the two.
See you, Drew. Mwah.
See ya.
I'll give you 2 cows. Good night, everybody. Thank you for donating.
Oh yeah? One of you guys?
Tarr's a fucking retard faggot!
And they're going out for some hangings.
Shut up, you filthy animal!